Everyone's obsessing over ChatGPT, and almost nobody is using Gemini and NotebookLM to build a real edge. That's a huge mistake. One thing is becoming very clear right now. The edge is never the tool, it's the system you build. That's why mastering Google's AI tools like Gemini and NotebookLM matters a lot. In this video, I'll show you how to build a four-part human intelligence system so effective it's almost feels unfair. So you can learn faster, think clearer, and build an advantage that puts you ahead of 99% of people in the room. So let's get started. But before we get to the system, we need to understand a framework that separates the top 1% in how they use AI. An MIT Media Lab study found that people relying on AI for writing showed weaker brain connectivity and recall. This is machine fog. When it comes to AI, most people are building on sand. No blueprints, no foundation, no structure. What you need instead is a strong, intelligent architecture built on a solid bedrock. Four floors, four different jobs. The ground floor is grounding. AI has a dangerous habit. It can sound convincing without being accurate. It's like a brilliant lawyer who argues beautifully while fabricating evidence. This is where Notebook Alliance comes in because it works only from the material you give it, your documents, your notes, your transcript, your data. Notebook Allen doesn't just give you answer, it gives you receipt. You can upload a 500-page textbook, the last 6 months of your meeting transcript, or that entire file of PDFs waiting on your desktop. It will take all of it. And then you can investigate, ask questions, and find patterns. Instead of artificial confusion, you are now anchored in reality. The next floor is your frontier model, Gemini. This is where you move from evidence to exploration. Gemini can hold an enormous amount of data and context. You can feed in 1 million of token, nearly entire book series, years of company data, or massive data set, and it will still identify hidden patterns a human eye would take months to spot. It doesn't just find the needle in the haystack, it understands the entire system behind it. Now the next floor is a specialist. When you start with AI, it always feels like you're talking to a random stranger. There's no context about it, what you want, who you are, or how you think. That's why Gemini has gems to fix that. They are your experts, a finance advisor, a writing partner, a strategist built especially for you. They remember who they are and who you are. Now the top floor is tools. This is where your execution lives, your workspace. This is where intelligence escapes the prompt window and enters your real work. Drafting emails, building decks, summarizing meetings, updating documents, and actually moving things forward. So those are the four tools. Notebook Allen grounds you in evidence. Gemini help you explore with clarity and massive context. Gems give you a staff of a specialist and workspace turns insight into tangible works. And just understanding this blueprint already puts you ahead of everyone still behind on sand. Now let's build it one floor at a time. The biggest myth about learning is that mastery comes from consuming more information, more books, more courses, more content. But that's not how our brain works. Working memory is limited. Try to push a 500-page textbook through it, and it's like squeezing a mountain through a straw. Real learning happens when information moves into long-term memory. Tools like Notebook Allen change the speed and shape of that process. Your brain learns in two models, focus mode and diffuse mode. Focus mode is when you actively engage in investigating, asking questions, and finding patterns. But the real breakthrough happens in diffuse mode when you step away. When you're walking, communicating, or doing something else, your brain start making deeper connection. Notebook Allen let's use you both. You can turn your research into interactive podcasts or debates. You can listen while walking, commuting, or even cooking. And you can jump in anytime and ask questions to steer it in real time. So your dead time becomes learning time. When should you use Notebook Alarm? Three situations. When you are drowning in material, when precision matters and close enough isn't good enough, and when you want knowledge to move across formats, audio, video, decks, flashbacks, flashcards, or visuals. But once you have that foundation, you need an engine powerful enough to act on it. That's where Gemini comes in. It can process text, images, audio, video, code, and data all together. It learns from your past interaction. It understands your tone, your preferences, your goals, and it can do deep research inside a single prompt, planning, searching, evaluating, and returning a structured result. But raw power alone isn't enough. If you can't steer it, all that power just gets you lost faster. That's where AIM comes in. A is actor. Tell the AI who it should be. I is input. Give it proper text. M is mission. Define the exact outcome you want. Now it's time to build your team. Most AI feels generic. That's why you create gems. You're specialist. They don't just store information, they store behavior. They understand how you think, what you care about, and how you work. Now you're not organizing files, you're organizing expertise. And finally, execution. Most people lose massive productivity because of context switching, jumping between tools, tabs, and platforms. This is where Gemini inside Google Workspace becomes powerful. Docs, Gmail, Drive, Street, Sheets, calendar meetings, all connected into one system. Now AI doesn't just assist you, it works with you. It reduces friction, improves focus, and adapt to your style. You can analyze your files, catch up on meeting instantly, and generate work that actually sounds like you. So this is your human intelligence system. Four floors, one architecture. And here's why this matters. AI will change jobs. It will automate tasks. It will reshape how we work, but it won't replace what makes you valuable because every job has two parts, mechanics and meaning. AI can change the mechanics, but meaning that's still yours. So don't just use AI, build with it because the real edge is not the tool, it's the system. What's your thoughts? Tell me in the comments and I'll see you in the next one.